Alright, time for the second match with the Rakdos control, emphasis black. This hand seems fine, I guess. We have a removal spell and a read the bones. And duress. We could just slap the turn 1 duress, but getting caves into play seems like a worthy goal. This looks like a blue-black control deck. So we're almost certainly going to hit with this duress. But I think I'd rather save it for later. Like saving it for a turn where we want to resolve a Gurmagangler or something seems highly profitable. I think we're a huge dog in this matchup. Incidentally, we have so many like brick cards in our deck. That's not funny. I guess if they just have a Curse of the Bloody Tome, we're dead. I guess that could have been a reason to duress them earlier. But they usually only have like 1 or 2 in their deck. So, you know, I guess it's fine. Looks like they're not getting too much. Wait, hold on. Desperate Ravings? Carvex Torch? Wow, are we playing some sort of Drake variant? Sounds sweet. I like my opponent's style. So we really need to draw some pressure. Gonna add for blue. Oh wow, okay. Write these down. Okay, so yeah, they're on like a Grixis Drake deck. I have to take these Mulldrifters. Like I can't see me beating multiple Mulldrifters. So take 1 Mulldrifter. Take 2 Mulldrifters. Wow, Idol's really stressing me out because you need to press OK after looking at the hand, which makes me feel like I'm about to take no cards. But yeah, this is not a deck to play if you're expecting lots of Drake. Now, to be fair, like there's quite a lot of Drake at the minute, but I really haven't played that many Drakes for quite a while, so yeah. So take Ghostly Flicker and hope to draw a threat or read the bones. Draw removal spells, then they're bricks. Well, that at least takes the Ghostly Flicker out of their graveyard. And I was about to say takes the Desperate Ravings if they don't cast it, but they obviously did, which is very wise of them to do. Desperate Ravings, very sweet card. Makes me kind of excited to see what's happening in their deck. Prophetic Prism? Yeah, I mean that you can Ghostly Flicker that, draw a card. Well, they're gaining a bunch of life, but that's probably not going to be the deciding factor. So I guess I already have 1 Bajuka Bog. I need to just throw threats. I mean, I can get a Desperate Ravings if I just cast it, but I think that's okay. So I guess I can read the bones plus Gurmagangler. Definitely don't need more lands. Well, we've cast a bunch of Read the Bones, and I don't think we're close to winning this game. Yeah, they have Edicts too. This seems like a horrendous matchup. Like look all these cards that don't matter. um, all their creatures are like 2-for-1s, so even killing creatures doesn't matter too much, and they'll eventually get to the stage where they can like just take cards and they can like cast creatures, and I have to try and kill them, and then they ghostly flicker, and all just goes bad. At least I get to get my termite back here. Wow, they haven't drawn too much. So they just have a couple of lands now. This Trainer's 8 isn't going to get any better, so might as well fire it out there. This is a great draw for them, considering the 2 lands in their hand. But also, they have Desperate Ravings, so it's not like they didn't have good plays to make. This is a lot of compulsive researches. Crumbling Vestige, Radiant Fountain. I mean, they're leaning pretty hard on these Prophetic Prisms and Shimmering Grottos. But I guess you don't need like Tron pieces to be like a 5-color Drake deck. So trying to think of ways to win this game. Pretty low on options, I'm afraid. One of them is hoping they deck themselves. Like they just draw a million cards and naturally deck, as I have more removal spells than they have Drakes. It's not completely inconceivable, but they're drawing so many cards. I can't foresee a situation where I'm going to get away with that. Oh, they did not flash back their Desperate Ravings. It means they have good cards. Well, there's a couple more lands going in the bottom of my deck. I'm definitely not going to play any Terramorphic Expanses, that sort of thing here, because I have 4 lands in the bottom of my deck. Burning my opponent out isn't really an option, since they've just gained a bunch of life already. I don't nearly have enough reach for that. I could going for a snap. That's pretty gross. They've got some sick things going on here. So I guess I'm just about to get blown out by a Ghostly Flicker. Nope. So there's nothing I can do to stop them from just exiling my Firebolt forever here, but Firebolt is not a very great card in this matchup. It's another compulsive research. Such compulsions. I mean, they're down to 25 cards in their deck. Maybe I'll get them. The opponent's deck is super sweet, by the way. Don't know if I mentioned that yet. I'm just like casting me to bones left and right, and I'm just getting buried under cards and sweet Mesmeric Fiend plays. This Bajuka Bog's working quite hard. Hopefully I can like strand multiple Pulsive Morasses in their hand or something. There weren't any Ghostly Flickers to get there, but I could get the wall. So if they draw pulses, they can't just pulse back the wall. I mean, I guess this is technically a clock that I've got going on here. Let's see what kind of response this gets from them. Lightning Bolt, okay. I think I have to choose blue. Oh, they have a Seal of Doom and Swirling Sandstorm? Outrageous, I would never have expected those cards. I mean, I guess Swirling Sandstorm, but... I mean, maybe they have more dead cards in their deck than I thought. Ah, taste it. Oh, but this is reversing my decking clock. It's putting cards on their library, and that's not the plan. So I guess if I just draw like Angler, I can actually put enough clock on my opponent to matter. That's alright. I have my flashback cards in my hand, and I can easily cast Angler. So hopefully they just don't draw Muldrifter. Maybe they're deliberately not playing Drake. I'm gonna hold this for a little while. I know the cards in our hand don't do very much. So I'm gonna wait until I draw like an Angler or something. Maybe it'll help keep my creatures safe at a later date. There's a good chance of it just missing and not hitting anything irrelevant. But you'll notice how slow this clock is, considering they were on 29 life when I started attacking. Oh, glad I managed to brick this Mortuary Mire with my Bojuka Bog. Oh, they're sword flooding out. They've already cast a million cards. Is this a huge torch? A huge torch to the face? Well then. So they have like multiple torches in their deck too? Well, okay. Certainly wasn't going to play around that, but we were closer than I thought. Is basically where we're at. So it seems like a good card against them, I suppose. Electric Raid is not. Gorilla Shaman. Gorilla Shaman kill prisms, which could be relevant. It's probably better than some kind of card in their deck. Siphon Life, while it's technically something that's good in an incredibly long game, I don't think that's how we're going to win. I think in order to win, we need to just disrupt them and beat them down a bunch. I think... I mean, Firebolt's okay. It gets their Mesmeric Fiends, but so does like everything else. Maybe Terminate's just bad, although I guess gives us an out to Mnemonic Wall. We certainly don't have a lot of good options here. Like, giving us some reach is good. Like, Chainer's Edict's pretty bad also. Maybe that's just the worst of our removal spells. So I can put in Gorilla Shamans to like beat down, since they're probably going to board out some removal. And I can maybe snipe Prismatic Prism or something. Like, I don't think these removal spells are any good as a general rule here. Yeah, this seems like a horrendous matchup, so we need to do some adventurous sideboarding, I think. Well, I mean, this is part one. This is part one of the plan. We're gonna have to beat them down with Friction Ragers and Chittering Rats. Let's crack open their noggin. Alright, I'll write these down. So they don't have any red mana if I take this Prophetic Prism. It seems like the best option. Like, I could have taken Desperate Ravings and then exiled it with the Bog, but we might be able to mize them. And we didn't draw a third land. Wish we had some Night's Whisper in our deck. Maybe our opponent's going for the Evoke Muldrifter here. Our hand is clogged. We need to cast our spells, or else we're not doing anything. I'm gonna name blue. Hopefully hit some more card drawing, but at least we get Ghostly Flicker. So draw a land for victory, I guess. If they just draw Prism, I think we're getting crushed. So their tapping mana there suggests maybe a Mesmeric Fiend that they are now... No, I guess not. Well, some more bricks. And more non-lands, yep. And now we're probably dead. That is... Wow, this is outrageously bad. I guess we could have just sent a lightning bolt at their face end step or something. But yeah, now they get to unleash their card drawing spells, and we have card drawing spells too, but we can't cast anything, so we're not doing anything. This will hopefully at least make them spend some time bolting my creature, but I guess I'll keep both of these. So next turn we can like Addle plus Rager, or Rager plus Angler. So I think like, so we need, so we know they have Edict, so like Gurmag Angler can't do it alone. So I think we need to like start with Fricks and Rager. Like we can Addle for black, I guess. Which is okay. Like if they don't have an untapped land, they can't Edict next turn. If I like make an Angler now, like it's not exactly the card we want, but well, there's a Muldrifter. Give a snap. So we definitely need to hold up Pyroblast for the Muldrifter, even though they can pulse it in the near future, most likely. So we definitely cannot cast Rager, because if we fail to hit Bulkus, then they're just going to cast a Muldrifter, and then we'll get crushed. We can definitely cast this though. We need to take some cards out of their hand. We know they have Snap, but Like, the longer the game goes on, the worse for me, so... Yep. It wasn't long for this world anyway, since if they drew a land in, they were still going to edict us. Okay, so we get to duress them, take their pulse. Actually, no, we get to take their compulsive research. So they have like a pulse, a snap, and a Muldrifter. And then we get to Pyroblast the Muldrifter, which is nice. They're still on a super high life total though. They're very far away from losing this game. Bam! Hope they did not draw Dispel. So this turn I'm just going to cast an Angler and play Bloodfell Caves. Like, I can obviously try to hit like another Pyroblast or something, but just getting my creature on the board seems like a good plan. Hopefully they didn't draw another thing. Yeah, and we also need to work through their snap. It's not going to go away anytime soon. So they have a pulse that they can't cast at the moment. Hopefully they didn't draw Prism. Oh, they drew another Muldrifter? That's kind of vicious. So I'm gonna have to cast Read the Bones here, I think, to see what tools I have to work with. Not many tools, as it turns out. Sort of need a Bojuka Bog. So I can take Pulse here and then kill their Muldrifter before they have a chance to like save it with Snap. Unfortunately, we can't afford to play Angler as well. But, you know, what can you do? That's fine. They're going to take Read the Bones, I expect. But, you know, we have some action going on. So bashing in, I guess we have to arrow them for blue. If they want to snap my Phyrexian Rager, that's okay. Because this way I actually get to have Gurmag Angler in play. So they have 2 Crumbling Vestige. Oops. Need to do this so I can rescue my Firebolt from certain death from the Angler. Well, Desperate Ravings, they discarded Bojuka Bog, so they still have 2 Vestige. And I think this is about as good as we can get. Them drawing Compulsive Research is pretty bad for us also. If they have additional Swirling Sandstorms, we're in great danger. They discarded a Spell Pierce. That one's a nice one. They going to get attacked here, and I'm going to cast Firebolt on their face. Since might as well. Still have enough mana to cast Lightning Bolt and Pyroblast. It's not outrageous that we might be able to win this game. Like, the opponent bricked fairly hard for a few turns there. I think that's okay, actually. I'd much rather Pyroblast a Drake or something, and they're still dead to these 2 Ragers plus Lightning Bolt. The Desperate Ravings? That's very desperate indeed. Just nothing? Okay. Just bolt them. Did we do it? we stole a game. I did not think we were going to get away with that. And so yeah, our like various removal spells would have been fairly bad still. They really relied on that Prism to get going this game, and by removing it, that was great. It's a shame that Adol cannot name no colors to steal artifacts and that sort of thing. Gorilla Shaman obviously wouldn't have been great, but I mean, I need to get damage in somehow. Still has the chance to do something, whereas like Terminate on Muldrifter seems like a losing proposition. I mean, I guess I can bring in Siphon Life as like a sort of weird bolt to the face. Like, is that better than just firebolting them? I guess it's unlikely that I'm going to get to retrace it multiple times because of their bogs. But I guess if I slow roll it in like a later game scenario, it might deal more damage than Gorilla Shaman. Alright, I'll give it a shot. This hand's not great, but none of them are going to be great against this deck. I think that's reasonable to say. I'm going to go ahead and get a Swamp. Like, I don't want a Bojuka Bog right away, since I do know that they have like Desperate Ravings and stuff. So I want to try and hit something. And if I can play a different land other than Bojuka Bog, then I would, but alright, I'll write these down. So we can take looting, and that's kind of value with Bog, since I get to, you know, exile it. But I think I'd rather just take Compulsive Research. It's going to be a better card for the most part. Even if I am passing out on the value. Like, if it's a Desperate Ravings, maybe. But I'm sure we'll probably get to reuse our Bog at some point. Alright, get to readjust our known knowledge. Let's try to disrupt them. Playing Chittering Rats first, because if we draw like a mountain, next turn we can play Duress plus Rager. And that's like more efficient, I think. Oh, they drew Muldrifter? They're snapping it into Muldrifter? That's a huge beating. I mean, I guess it's not that much of a beating, since they just spent a card. But it's annoying, that's what it is. I think I have to... Yeah, I think I have to dress them to make sure they can't do anything good. Get to take Pulse, since they have all colors now, so the prison doesn't matter too much. Take Pulse, and like Firebolt this Muldrifter, so they can't draw, so they can't snap it. Our Power Blast shields are down, but there's not too much we can do about that. They made a relic. This is fine, honestly. Like if they ever cycle it, I think that's way better for me. Like they took a firebolt out of the graveyard, but they just bricked some mortuary mires and pulses and things. So I'm on board. They have Snap Pierce plus the mystery card. So we might be in with a shout here. We have a reasonable amount of reach in our hand. We've got a reasonable clock, and they just turned off all their swirling sandstorms. I will want to addle them to take away their Spell Pierce soon, so I can like cast things and hold up Power Blast for Mulldrifter more effectively. Oh, they have a wall. Yeah, I'll take. I think I'll take wall. Their shields are basically down. So, I mean, if they draw Mulldrifter next turn, it'll be good for them, but I think this seems like a good way to go. Desperate Ravings, discarding Torch. They only have 4 mana, so... Alright. Taking Power Blast makes a lot of sense, but they can see that we have 10 points of burn in our hand, basically. We can bolt, firebolt, flashback, but that's obviously quite expensive. So I am going to go ahead and do some firebolting. Since it's quite weak against Spell Pierce, the flashback. So while their shields were down, I had to go for it. So now they need to answer these Ragers and or go infinite and kill me. This could easily be a Ghostly Flicker with the Evoke Sacrifice on the stack. I think their outs are fairly low. Okay, they're doing some tricky stuff. Ghostly Flicker now. I think if I don't die this turn, I'm in pretty good shape. Like, they're drawing tons of cards, but I don't think they can deploy them all that effectively this particular turn. And I do have 2 Lightning Bolts in my hand. If they draw Radiant Fountain, I'm not sure if they play land this turn. I guess they have not played a land yet. So if they play Radiant Fountain... Oh, Mesmeric Fiend's basically a basically a Radiant Fountain here. But not really, because if they need to chump block, then I get the Lightning Bolt back. I think we may well have managed to do it. So if either of these touches them, they die. But then I get my Lightning Bolts back. Give it to me. Give me my bolt back, please. Well, that was a match I did not expect to win. I think opponent had a few too many like sweet tricks going on with like snap and things that weren't really necessary for a matchup like this. But like their deck did seem very cool, so I hopefully they do well, and I'll see their deck lists online somewhere.